Rampage.
Hey guys, this is Wisper coming at you again with another IO commentary video. This one is a little bit famous. This is a commentary over the game that I played against Purge and Day9 on their stream. I edited a cute little 12-minute video together of their reactions and the gameplay from their perspective that I've already posted to my channel. This is the full version of the game that I played. I am the IO, surprise, surprise. I am in safe lane with the Bloodseeker, who I'm warning everyone right now, super bad player. Just putting that out there, you'll see it in the next couple minutes. This guy doesn't really know what he's doing. I didn't even realize at the time, but when I rewatched the replay, Day9 noticed that he has no regen items on him whatsoever. So that's just what I'm working with from there. I didn't realize that this was a game with Purge and Day9. If you don't know, Purge and Day9 are famous commentators that work a lot of the Dota 2 tournaments. Purge has a YouTube channel where he does Dota things. He is a Dota coach. He coaches people on how to be better. And I think the basis of Day9 and Purge playing together is that Day9 is not a super great player. Day9 is the Bat Rider, and Purge is the Earthshaker on the enemy team. I actually didn't realize that Day9 was in the game. Someone right now messaged me and said, "Hey man, I'm watching you on Twitch." And I said, "That's weird, I'm not streaming." And they said, "No, I'm watching you on Purge's Twitch. I recognized your name and your hero pick." So it was around this time I realized I was in a game with Purge. I didn't realize I was in a game with Day9 until the game ended. So all the plays that you see me make against Bat Rider throughout this game are just completely random. I didn't realize he was anyone special, let's say. Here we can see that Day9 tries to dive into the Bloodseeker. He kind of overcommits and ends up pulling creep aggro along with him. He mentioned in his version of the replay that he wasn't watching his health bar at that time, but I ended up getting the first blood, which is really great. You can see that I've taken damage, and so has Bloodseeker. I'm trying to pop tangos and make sure that I'm tethered to him at the same time. Any way that I can heal him up, since he doesn't seem to be able to do it himself, I can try and keep him alive for as long as possible. The whole basis of not having regen items on a Bloodseeker is that you are basically saying, I am going to be making last hits. I guarantee you that I will be landing last hits, and with the last hits I can regen my health. And this is not a great lane to say that with a lot of confidence, and you need to be a really good player, like not just to know how to deal with enemy lane pressure. He's against a ranged hero, how do you deal with that, but also just be good enough to get last hits reliably every time. It's not only important because he needs the gold, but because he's a Bloodseeker, it's the entire way that he regens his health. And as we can see from these clips, the guy doesn't really know what he's doing. I realize at this point that I'm playing against a famous player, and I decide to try and keep things standard. This isn't a game where I'm going to be rushing Blink Dagger and then experimenting with a new Octarine Core build. I just want to play well, because I know people are watching. I think someone told me he had like 3,000 viewers on his Twitch at that point. So I knew I was on camera, and I wanted to just play a good game, you know, play a reliable build that I had practiced with before, and that's what I end up building. And we'll talk more about those items as things progressed. I'd actually like to say that this is the most updated version of the build that I'm playing right now. So if people are keen to copy a new way to play IO, they want to see what the new I don't want to say it's the new meta. I think that's complimenting myself way too highly. But it's definitely what I'm playing with right now and what I think works. I've gotten Soul Ring at this point. Soul Ring is all about keeping up my mana so I can spam spirits. It's also great for passive HP regen to sort of keep me not necessarily alive in the lane, but allow me to regen slowly over time, and through tether to regen my partner as well. It doesn't provide the burst healing that Bottle does. Bottle has a fantastic rate of healing. It's almost as strong as an Urn Charge. The problem with bottle is that it only has a couple charges, and those charges each last 2.5 seconds. So if you have a full bottle and you use them all consecutively, that's 7.5 seconds of really, really great healing every 2 minutes. So I personally opt for this different item. I'm actually planning to make a whole video discussing bottle versus soul ring build, because a lot of people talk to me about this. They're confused that I play this way. They want more. They don't understand why I'm doing this, and there's a lot of math to support why. So expect that video coming soon. But in the meantime, I am building up towards Tranquil Boots. The one thing that you lose out on by going Soul Ring is you have to hurt yourself to use Soul Ring. So I'm trying to make sure that I'm going to have enough health to support myself from those future activations. I'm actually able to kind of body block the Bat Rider a little bit and into the silence of Bloodseeker. I don't think Day9 moved fast enough, to be honest with you, but I'm able to keep Bloodseeker's mana full so he can continue silencing. I've picked up a wand before I picked up the Tranquil Boots, but that was specifically because we were going against a Bat Rider who was spamming his Q. And Purge comes to gank into this lane, and they're able to kill the Bloodseeker. One of the things that I haven't been able to use yet is my salves. I really like to start with opening salves. I think I talk about it every match now, how fantastic they are. Again, I'm reviewing notes for this video about Soul Ring versus Bottle, and Salve is the strongest healing item in the game you can get at this level. It heals, I think, almost 25% stronger than Urn of Shadows does, and Urn of Shadows already heals faster than Bottle does. So having a salve at this level, it just seems, you know, it's a 100 gold item. It only has one shot. It can be turned off. The amount and rate of healing in that item, the rate alone is more than Bottle. The amount of healing is more than a full Bottle. It's a really, really strong item. I hope to make use of it soon. Here you can see, again, they're diving into Bloodseeker, and Bloodseeker is just letting them do it. He's not running behind tower, he's not running into the trees. He thinks that because I'm tethered to him and they're next to a tower, that he should live, and he doesn't. This is a horribly, horribly upsetting series of events. I was so excited for a double kill right here. I wanted to let the creeps get close to them so that I could tether to the creeps and use the momentum of the tether to pull myself close enough to them that I could use spirits to hit them. But I actually tethered too early, and I so early that there wasn't enough distance between me and the creep to generate momentum. And as a result, I just had a very flaccid little tether go off and nothing happened. They both get away with like 10% health. No kills for me. I am pissed. Not having a good time in this lane. I do not feel like I'm doing super well in what is now a public forum, and I'm stuck with this Bloodseeker who very clearly sucks. So I'm sort of trying to figure out what my next plan of action is here. I have not been able to get a lot of bounty runes this game, which has been really upsetting. It's been slowing down my item progression and level progression. I'm just trying to make things work from here. Bloodseeker has moved to the jungle, which I'm happy about. I want this solo XP so I can hit level 6. Once I have 6, I can start relocating on the map. You know, it really expands my potential for finding kills, as we see at middle. If this... God, was that hero? Dark Willow had not been able to finish off that kill, I would have been able to be there to finish it off. Unfortunately, she gets it just in time, but it's good to be able to give her a little bit of healing and mana before I come back to my lane. At this point, we have Tranquil Boots coming on the Courier, which is basically sets me up for the rest of the game. I have a strong basis of healing that doesn't require me to activate it. A strong passive basis for healing that allows me to regen the damage that I'm taking from Soul Ring as well as from fights. I can heal up other people without having to expend resources. And the Soul Ring mana gain is so powerful that it's very, very helpful even 20, 25, 30 minutes into the game. That item is still very, very functional. I just seem to be running into all the wrong positions here. I'm trying to go middle to make an effect on middle, but I come too late to the fight. I didn't blow my TP, which might have made more sense at that time. I'm not entirely sure. This is D9, Day9 talking to me as I complain about how bad my Bloodseeker is. Saying everyone should listen to me, and I was like, oh, if only, man. You know how many Dota games I would win if my whole team just listened to what I said the whole time? My goodness. My next items, I'm trying to upgrade my stick into wand. I know that the passive HP regen that I get through wand is super nice. The ability to build up to 17 charges, especially against a relatively spammy team. Batrider has a lot of spells to cast, Ogre has a lot of spells to cast. In one sitting, Earthshaker's going to try and pop everything that he has, so it's definitely something that's going to help. I see the ability to get off a relocate behind a diving group of players here, and I'm able to pick off Day9 because of the Bloodseeker passive. Even though he's in the jungle, I'm able to see him because he's a low health, and I'm able to get off just enough hits to get him before I relocate back to base. I'm able to pick up a series of items. I finish my wand, I go for the tome. Anytime I can buy the tome is a fantastic time. Go for the tome. You need level 7 for max level spirits. You need level 10 and 15 and 20 for your absolutely fantastic talents. So anytime you can buy the tome, I highly advise that you do so. At this point, I'm building towards Urn of Shadows. Urn of Shadows counts as my mid-game healing item. You know, I don't run with Bottle. I don't have that burst heal through Bottle. I end up relying on my wand and my urn for my in-fight heals. And to some extent, Tranquil Boots if they're not already off cooldown and you can tether into a fight without taking a hit. Those can have functionality as well, but it's important for an IO, most IOs, but especially a non-bottle IO, to get that urn. I see Purge approaching here, and obviously he goes invis right in front of me, but I also see him hitting my orbs, which immediately makes you want to back out. I know they have a Mirana with an ultimate. I also know that, you know, dust and smoke exists, things like that. So I'm trying to screw with Purge here. I kind of figure if I can get a kill off on him, that would be nice. Not just for bragging rights, but also for the game. And I'm trying my very best to get the gold to finish off my core item set, and I've just finished off Urn. So Urn is coming to me. I wish I had bought a TP at the same time, but I didn't. But Urn is coming to me now, and I can start to think about my sort of hardcore mid-game items. Here I eat an arrow, a really nice arrow that was shot through some creeps, and I rush into Purge, who's coming around the fissure, and I'm able to connect all 5 orbs with him before I die, and he pulls tower aggro for being so close to the tower and for attacking me. The tower is able to finish him off. Not my optimal way that would have gone down, you know. I would have preferred to just not eat an arrow to the face. But seeing as how I kind of had to, or at least I did, I think being able to take down one of them with me was the best case scenario. Perhaps even more best case would be if I had killed them before they killed me, but you know, I worked with what I had to work with, and I think I made the best of it. The next item I'm running for here is Veil of Discord. This is a really classic item in the builds that I'm building these days. Veil of Discord gives you a little bit of extra damage to your spirits, as well as a cacophony of really awesome stats for IO. Armor is really important since you don't get that from talents anymore. Health regen is super great because, you know, any health regen you can give IO is going to be multiplied through his tether. And then it has really fantastic stats. It gives you strength and agility and a lot of intelligence. And that intelligence not only increases your mana pool by quite a bit, but it also increases your spell damage. The percentage of spell damage that you gain through your intelligence is boosted, so your spirits are going to do even more damage from having Veil. Not only is Veil a relatively strong item, but for increasing magic damage through spirits by activating it, but once you hit level 15, the amount of damage that spirits does almost doubles, and as a result, the amount of damage that Veil does for you almost doubles. And that's something that I think a lot of people overlook. They see spirits and they go, oh, that's going to be a nice little jump, but that Aghanim's tether, that's the way it should be. But that's not the way that I play. Here I see a team fight is breaking out mid, and I'm trying to do my very best to join in. I've just hit level 10, so I know I have my plus 60 melee damage talent at level 10. I know I hit like a tank right now, and ultimately people aren't expecting you to hit like a tank. That's part of the allure of IO, is people think you're an IO, so people think you suck. And being able to run into a fight having just hit level 10 when some people on their team aren't even level 10 yet, and to really start wailing on people like the Earthshaker, the normally quite fat Ogre Mage is suddenly melting quite quickly. These are ways you can really impact team fights very early. Very early at, 15 minutes or so. But I think my point about getting the tome stands. Your talents, not just level 7 max spirits damage, but the talents that you pick up at 10, 15, and 20, those can have a real impact on the way that you progress in the game. I think there is a team fight building top, and I'm trying my best to sort of pick off one person at a time before things get too crazy. We're able to start in on the Ogre Mage and get him down before the rest of their team can respond. And I believe Purge, as we see here, lands a really awesome fissure that blocks a lot of us off. So I immediately pop Relocate ahead of the running away players. We're able to get Day9 as the Bat Rider, but we're not able to catch up to Purge. And rather than leaving the Bloodseeker behind that tower to maybe get picked off by somebody else, I bring him back with me. Things are going very well for me now. A nice 4-1 is a great start. And I am not only picking up bounty runes at this point, but I'm very close to finishing my Veil. Veil of Discord, I've already talked about it, but I really cannot overstate how fantastic of an item that is. I've yet to find an item to get in this build, in this time slot, that has a greater impact than Veil of a Discord does. I'm trying to stay on the high ground in this team fight to not draw complete aggro, because while my damage is quite high, and I do have the armor bonus from Helm of the Dominator? No, that's a different one. From the Helm. It's definitely... I don't want to be pulling full damage aggro from people, it's going to be too much. Here, another fissure separates us from Monkey King, but I'm able to tether over it and pop an urn and my wand. And that's enough to save the Monkey King from those two people and really turn the fight in our favor. It's actually something that Purge commented on his gameplay, saying that was a really great save from that IO on Monkey King, this is where we all die. It also gets me enough gold to get my Veil finished, and now that Veil is finished, I look at my XP, and I'm only 1.5 levels away from level 15. So my first thought process at this point is to try and think about jungling for a little bit, getting up to 14, getting up to 15. I don't necessarily want to rush into a team fight before having that maximum damage output for my spirits. So you can see me here. I see that they're close by, and I'm not against engaging them, but I'm trying to focus on getting last hits, getting XP through creeps. If they want to charge into us, we have an advantage right now. I'm personally doing pretty well, so I'm personally not terribly scared. But as you can see here, not eager to fight, just want to be getting that XP. The next item that I'm building into is Yule Scepter. What I tend to find around this point in the game is that if you build an item that is not a mana item, by the time that you're done with it, you're really hurting for mana. As you can see, I think I've maybe bought 2 clarities this game, maybe 3 clarities at a stretch, but I'm really trying to make sure that my mana is in tip-top shape when I can. being able to multicast spirits over and over and over again is a great way to maintain your damage output and to keep up with damaging other players. It's also a great thing to do is to have 2 spirits cast in a fight, and to do that you need to cast 1 early. So being able to maintain spirit spamming is important. Here I go for another sort of diving save onto the Doom, and between the diving save and the mana that comes from the urn and the wand, and then the AoE silence attack from Bloodseeker, we're able to sort of force so many of them out of the fight that Doom actually doesn't die. And we're able to take what should have been a 2-man gank and 2 kills from the Earthshaker and the Batrider and turn that into 1 kill, and we return 2 kills, 3 kills onto them. Really works out well for us. Here I see that the Dark Willow is being pressured in mid, and I try to TP in to see if I can do something. I'm actually time it so that I'm able to cast 2 spirits, just like I was talking about, 2 sets of spirits onto that onto that ogre mage, dealing over 1,000, oh god, almost 2,000 damage onto him with the Veil of Discord debuff, and he melts. And I make sure to bring out the Dark Willow when I leave. Things like that, you kind of have to make a snap decision about, is it actually a bad idea to pull out Dark Willow because maybe she wants to stay there and she can get a kill? Am I screwing up a fight that's about to break out if I bring out 2 people instead of 1? I think in this situation it ended up working out for the best. I didn't really want to leave Dark Willow there. I think it was 3-on-2, and the only other player on our team was the Bloodseeker, who we've identified as being very, very bad. So I didn't really want to risk just blowing up the Dark Willow by leaving her there. Actually upset that I didn't get that Earthshaker kill. That's upsetting. In fact, that is how I die. I really wanted to chase down Purge and potentially just earn him. He was standing next to some allied creeps that I could have tethered to and popped an urn charge on him and then like run away or run through the forest, maybe fought somebody else, and he would have died for sure. But by standing out of position for quite literally that 2 seconds, 1 second, was enough time for Ogre to set me up with a stun, and then I was lassoed by Batrider and pulled out of position to my death. I think that's the last death I have of this game. So no more of those to worry about for the future. You see me buy the tome here at 20 minutes. Like I said, anytime I can get the tome, buy the tome. It's absolutely fantastic. And what I'm running for right now, Yule's is done, which means I have a movement speed boost, which is great. I have awesome mana regen, which is great for spamming spirits, as well as giving mana to other players. Now that I don't have the soul ring to give it in one quick go, I can give mana slowly over time. Not so slowly, it's pretty quick, but over passive mana regen more than an active mana regen, let's say. And the item that I'm building for next is Spirit Vessel. I already have 5 charges on my urn. No one else on my team has urn, so this is the perfect game to build Spirit Vessel. Spirit Vessel is going to be helpful for bringing up the damage of my spirits, for blocking healing potential from their team, although admittedly they don't have much in the way of healing. So it's not particularly useful for that per se, but it increases your HP, which is always nice. It gives you another speed boost, and the combination of speed boosts from Yule Scepter and Spirit Vessel, super duper strong. And it doesn't take up an additional item slot, and that's really, really nice. I still get to maintain the functionality of my wand, which is kind of important for me. It's one of my 2 main mid-fight healing items, and being able to not have to get rid of that quite yet, just putting 2,000 gold down into Spirit Vessel, it's a really, really nice option. I'm able to make a play here onto Purge as Earthshaker. He's in front of me, and I Yule Scepter him to set him up. The best play to make would be to have spirits ready, so that when he came down, he'd land into all of my spirits, but unfortunately the timing didn't work out. as compared to right here, where I actually just screw up my spirits onto Batrider. That was actually a double error, if anyone notices. Not only did I activate spirits too early, so they didn't explode the moment that Day 9 landed on the ground, but I also earned myself instead of damage earning the Batrider. So double error in about half a second, which I'm not super proud of, but I am able to set up MK for his ultra kill. Basically, MK and I are the two players leading this team right now, and if I can make sure that I can keep him fat, that's fine by me. Another thing that I have is level 20. At level 20, I've gone for the Attack Tether talent. This is an incredibly strong talent in a lot of different respects. It has applications in combat, in like big late game team fights. If you're tethered to somebody and they're wailing on somebody, you're going to be attacking every time they attack. But it has a lot of applications in pushing, when you only have a couple seconds to properly push and to make sure that you can get a whole tower down in a very limited period of time. Having those additional attacks coming from somebody is super duper helpful. It also combos very well with the next item I plan to build, which is Deso. Deso is, it's basically what it says on the tin, isn't it? It's going to strip the armor off of towers that you attack. It gives you an increased damage boost, and the idea is that this combos very, very well with the level 20 attack tether talent, especially for pushing. This is going to allow us to tear through towers very, very fast, and it also increases the functionality of Rat Dota with the relocate talent. And you'll see that play a role later in this match, but having that damage strip and that additional physical damage on top of the level 20 talent means that when you relocate in, you can do a lot of damage in that 12 seconds. It's this, I would summarize it like this: Desolator and the level 20 talent is the exact reason that they had to nerf relocate from 80 seconds, from a 60 second cooldown to an 80 second cooldown, because that combination is so aggressive. It really, really works. In fact, very recently I posted a game that was all about maximizing my magic damage, and I did get 24 kills in that game. And I said in that game that I thought going heavily into your magic damage was not super reliable. I was getting Kaya in that game, I was getting Ethereal Blade, I was going some weird item builds. This is far more reliable. Going for Desolator at this point in the game, you already have Veil of Discord, you already have your mana, you have your healing, maintaining your damage now, getting armor strip, getting something that's going to help you push down towers. That's how you win at this point. That's what guarantees you that late game edge, is being able to maximize that level 20 talent in the best way possible. Here, we basically win one of the last team fights of the game. We're able to outplay the enemy pretty darn well. Purge made a wonderful 4-man Echo Slam with his blink, but I was out of range of the stun. So rather than letting him continue his combo, I just Yule Scepter him in the middle of 3 people, and over the microphone on his game, he just says, "Oh no, this is not going to end well." And sure enough, we end up eating him, and the rest of the people coming to defend him, and we get our top racks. Top racks is done, mid racks is done, and now we're pushing for bottom racks. Mirana pops her ultimates, and they start putting a lot of pressure on at least me. I Yule Sceptered myself to dispel that damage that was coming off of the Ogre damage over time spell, and I think we're starting to back out here. We don't know where they are. People are starting to lose health. Purple, the Dark Willow's not even with us at this point, and I think we sort of naturally all back up. I am still pushing to finish the Deso. I'm relatively close. I'm only 1,200 gold away, even less. And in my mind right now, what I'm thinking about is when will be a good moment for me to relocate into their bottom racks and take them out. With or without Deso, it doesn't really seem necessary at this point because it's only 2 racks that we have to finish. And I have the level 20 talent already, which is going to help quite a bit in our damage output. But what I am looking for on the mini-map right now is I'm trying to identify how far away creeps are going to be from the tower in order to allow us to remove backdoor protection. I recently found out that once backdoor protection is down, it is down for 15 seconds. That is a long time. A relocate is only 12. So as long as I believe the middle set of creeps were close enough to their ancient that it turned off backdoor for their racks, and I'm able to relocate in with MK, quickly destroy both racks, and get a Mirana kill before leaving. And if you noticed, actually, in the very last couple seconds of that relocate, I didn't want to take any more damage. We were about to leave, maybe 2 seconds from then, 1 second from then. And in order to make that time pass easier, perhaps is a good way of saying it, I ended up using myself. I put myself in a Eul Scepter Cyclone for the last 2 seconds of my relocate, which ensured I wasn't going to take any more damage from the Ogre Mage or anyone else who showed up, and it sort of ensured that I would get back to where I relocated from safely. And that's the game. We have mega creeps and we're pushing at this point. We basically need one more big push to take out their ancient. I don't want to say it could potentially be done from relocate and, tethers, overcharge desolators, but, if worst came to worst, we could probably make some desperate plays. Thankfully, it doesn't come to that. Quite a couple of these kills in the game are just completely set up by me and end up getting taken by somebody else, which is kind of a bummer in retrospect, but I think the game turns out super well. I think there's a point in this, at this point, where Day9 is saying how good the IO is and how he gets a lot of kills, and I don't think Purge is as impressed, to be honest, but if you watch the video that I made, the 12-minute video, you'll see. I'll make sure to post it at the end of this, in the description as well. But that's the game. Really strong game by me on a public forum. I was really excited about how that turned out. I end up getting 12, 2, and 20, which is a pretty nice score. But compared to everyone else, I had 840 XPM. I had 30,000 damage, which is #1 in the game, not just on my team. And on top of that, just to add 10,000 healing. Every other player on the entire team did less than 2,000 combined. I did 10.5 by myself. Also worth noting is I did as much building damage as the other 3 players on my team combined. So really strong game, really fantastic, worked out super well. It was fun to get messages from people after the fact saying, oh man, you were playing with Purge, that was so cool. And I really hope you guys enjoyed not just this video, but the other one I made as well, that 12-minute little, I think it's quite funny, but you guys will have to check it out for yourself to find out. More videos coming soon, more gameplays, more commentaries. Hope you guys enjoy. Feel free to swing by my Twitch and catch me live. My streaming schedule is totally random, but if you follow my Twitch channel, you'll see me when I'm on. And check out more videos on my YouTube, more awesome IO plays. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. Hope to see you soon. Alright, bye.